y'all, how is it going? I hope everyone is doing alright in these crazy times. I'm finally getting this video out here. I've had so many people ask me for it, which makes me feel so good because this is advice I really needed a little while ago, so I'm really glad I can pass it on to y'all. Today we're going to be talking about thin nails, which I naturally have very thin nails. A lot of y'all follow me on Instagram. If you don't, you should, but for a lot of y'all who follow me there or have followed me there for a while especially, you might know I naturally have super thin nails. They used to always be super damaged because of that. I've gone through every type of nail extension out there. Press-on nails, polygel nails, gel nails, all that good stuff. Just trying to find something to live my long nail dreams, but eventually I said, you know what, that's all good and well, but I want to actually see if I can get my natural nails to be long, and I am super happy to say that that has very much worked out for me. These are my natural nails. They are absolutely longer than they have ever been by quite some bit, and so many people who are in a similar situation as I was with those paper thin nails that just won't stop bending and tearing and peeling all over the place want to know how I transformed my nails from this to this, which is what they are today. A lot of what I'm going to be sharing here is not like information that I discovered on my own. It's definitely a lot of learning things from other people, which I think is the really cool thing about platforms like YouTube and Instagram for people who are DIYers and such, is that we can all share amazing information, but obviously I don't want to take credit for advice that I didn't come up with. So I'm going to link some videos in the description box of this video of places I got some of this information from. Obviously, it's a little hard to trace things to one person who came up with it because a lot of people do share the same information, but I'm going to do my best to give credit where credit is due. And also they're just helpful videos. And some things that worked really well for me might not work as well for you, so definitely check out other people's videos for more advice. But with that said, let's get into what has worked for me and my nail transformation. So one thing I will go ahead and say, which is very good advice, but you've probably heard before, is that nail oil is super duper important. Again, if you've spent any time online trying to figure out how to get longer, stronger, more healthy, beautiful nails, I'm sure you've heard all the great benefits of nail oil. But it's totally true. It does make a big difference, if not just for your nails and also for your cuticles, and I just think that having nice skin around your nails is part of having nice nails, so I do think that's important. I have a video from quite some time ago where I talk about how I make my own little nail oil pens. They look like this. In that video I talk about a bunch of different ingredients that I do find helpful for skin and or nails, but thanks to our current state of the world, a lot of my stuff that I use to make my nail oil is actually up in my dorm room, which is in another state, and I don't have access to it right now. So I've actually found that just plain jojoba oil, which a lot of people will recommend, works really well. So I just have these little pens here, I fill it with the good stuff, and then it's just as simple as putting it around your nails. If you have product on your nails, definitely go ahead and coat your nails if you don't have product on your nails so it can soak in there. And then once they get longer, I also like to flip around and do the underside too. Again, this is probably advice you've heard before, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but I will just say cuticle oil, nail oil, whatever you want to call it, super important, and it does make a big difference in a lot of ways when it comes to letting your nails grow faster, stronger, better. Even if it's just for the cuticle benefits, I think it's worth it. Having nice nails is one thing, but if you have crusty, flaky skin all around them, they're not gonna look so good no matter what. It's also cheap to make, buy, whatever, so it's definitely not that hard and makes a big difference. Another thing you've probably heard a lot about, especially if you're trying to improve your nails from being super thin nails, is a strengthening base coat. They get a lot of mixed reviews for a good reason. I am not a chemist, I'm not a professional, but in my view, I think the reason that they get a bad rap is from people using them either too much or when they're not needed. So to kind of oversimplify things, people who don't have good natural nails, some people have really brittle nails that like to snap. So like for me, my toenails are really brittle. So partly because they're toenails, but partly because they're kind of brittle, they're a lot thicker. They also tend to snap when they break. So like if I stub my toe, it might snap off a part of my toenail, or maybe it'll crack or something like that, versus thin nails, which is what I really have on my fingernails, where they're so thin that they will bend and get damaged that way, or they will tear. Or this has happened to me, and I know a lot of people have told me this has happened to them, where sort of the top layer of the nail starts peeling off, making it even thinner. Not good stuff either way if you're trying to grow out your nails. Fortunately, there are solutions for both things, but there are different solutions. So nail oil is a great thing for those brittle nails because it'll make your nails more flexible. So say if I've used a lot of nail oil on my toenails, which I can't say I do a lot, but pretend I did, and I stub my toe, then maybe the nail will bend instead of breaking, and then it'll keep growing. My toenail length is something I'm a little less concerned with than my fingernail length though. So for my fingernails, I actually will occasionally reach for a strengthening base coat, because what I found, and you can kind of see from this before picture I have here, you can see where I hit my nail on what have you, and it actually bent, and that created that sort of weakness that eventually will turn into a break or a tear, or however you want to describe it. So when I would use a strengthening base coat, I would use it very occasionally, just sort of as a little strength boost for the nails, so it stops that from happening and protects them a little bit. And this is something that I have to guess will depend person to person, so it might take a little trial and error. But I did find that at some point I was using it too much, and then my nails kind of crossed over to that brittle side, so then they started snapping instead of bending, which is just as bad if you're trying to grow long natural nails, because either way they're breaking and then they're not as long anymore, and that's very sad. So I think my 2 cents as someone who's been working with thin nails for a long time, that it's not a avoid them at all cost situation, it's just be careful how you use them, how much you use them, and making sure that thin nails are really your problem rather than brittle nails, and that's why they're breaking. And again, as far as how to tell, when your nail breaks, look at it. Is it a tear? Is it a bend that turned into a break? Or is it like a snap?
Hi, I'm editing now and I kind of feel like I didn't explain this all that well, so I made a nifty little diagram for us visual learners out there. So yeah, hopefully that helps, and obviously you can leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will do my best to answer as quickly as possible.
So while I definitely would say that nail oil helped me, and in the short term those strengthening base coats did help me, I think the main thing, and the thing I get the most questions about, is my gel overlay. So I guess if we have 3 pieces of advice in this video, it would be nail oil all the time for everyone, strengthening base coats some of the time if you are someone who will benefit from it, and then the third thing would be always having something on your nails. So when your nails are thin especially, but really for anyone. Nails aren't actually built to be crazy long, obviously. They're just meant to protect your fingertips. So they're not that strong no matter what type of nail you have. So it's really helpful for anyone to have a sort of extra little layer of protection when you're just going about your daily life and you're pressing buttons and you're scratching your dog's cute little head. And for some people, all that means is just having nail polish on them pretty much all the time. Some people can get away with just doing a top coat. That's not good enough for my nails. My nails need a little more help than that, especially when my nails were in that position of being super thin and having all this wear and tear on them from bending all over the place and all that nonsense. But if nail polish doesn't feel like enough for you, then I would definitely suggest trying out gel polish. It's a little stronger. It also lasts longer than nail polish, so you're going to have it on for a longer amount of time. Now, I will say with gel polish, do make sure you're applying and removing it properly, especially removing it. When people talk about gel polish damaging their nails, that can happen, but it's all in the proper removal process. I'm sure there are tons of videos out there on the proper removal of gel polish, but let me know if you want me to make one. I can definitely do that. But that is definitely something important. I've had a few times where I got a little impatient removing gel product, and no, don't do that. Be patient. It'll be worth it. And also know that it lasts longer. So even though it's a little more difficult to remove, you're gonna get more wear out of it. Now for me, gel polish helped, but it still wasn't doing it. So I said, okay, what else is there out there? And I learned about this cool thing you can do called a gel overlay. So I've tried polygel, I've tried builder gel, I've tried all that stuff, and I was wearing them as extensions, and that's all well and good, especially in the short term when I kind of wanted that length just for my own personal preference, but couldn't get my natural nails to that length. But when I got to the point that I actually wanted to focus on my natural nails, I learned about this thing called a gel overlay, which is similar to doing gel nails, like sculpted gel nails, but you're using your natural nails as the base. And for me, I found that I actually don't really need to do a whole sculpted nail to get my nails strong enough. Really, all I have on my nails is a couple thin layers of builder gel in a bottle. You can use any type of builder gel. I've even seen people do it with polygel. I like the builder in a bottle because I just think it's really easy to apply. It's definitely a lot thicker, but more or less I can apply it just like regular gel polish, so it's much easier to do. I personally don't really have to worry about creating an apex for strength and all that stuff like I did when I was doing the extensions, which you totally can do. It's just a lot more difficult, and honestly, I never really got it down perfectly. So I do like that I can just sort of do a few layers and call it done. But I find it pretty easy to apply. You can soak it off, so it's not difficult to switch it out. You can also do fills on it, so you don't even necessarily have to take all the product off when it grows out. So this, I would say, has been my saving grace of how I grew out my natural nails, even though I naturally have super thin nails, because I get to enjoy my natural nails with the strength of not natural nails, if that makes sense. So again, there are a ton of videos out there on how to do a gel overlay, and I will link some in the description box. Again, if you want me to do one on exactly how I do it, I would actually love to do that. So do let me know if that's something you'd like to see. As far as what product, there are a ton of really great builder gel products out there. I'm absolutely certain this is one I've been using. It's by the gel bottle, and I will link it in the description box. I have heard from some people that they've had trouble getting it as non-professionals. I'm not a professional at all, and I had no trouble getting it, but I have heard from some folks who have tried to buy it that they weren't able to, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with that and whether you have to be professional or not. But if you're having trouble getting this one, then there are tons of other brands that I know and trust that I know make one. I know Madame Glam makes one that's probably around the same price point, something like 20 bucks a bottle, and you definitely don't have to be a professional to order from them. Again, I haven't personally used that one, but I do trust Madame Glam, so I would definitely expect it to be a good product. I know Kiki London makes one that's a little more affordable too, so definitely that's one to check out. I've heard a lot of really good things about that one as well. And also another thing a lot of people ask me about is what I do about color after putting on the Builder Gel overlay. So again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this before. But what I use is this is a regular nail polish peel off base coat. So what I do is I have my Builder Gel overlay, and this is something I'll wear for 2 weeks, fill it, wear it even longer, but I like to switch out the color a lot. So I'll put a layer or two of this on my Builder Gel overlay, and then I do regular gel polish on top of that, and then I can peel it off when I want to switch it out, which is not only convenient, but it's also fun to do. And that is something that a lot of people ask me about, so I'm definitely planning a video on that as well. So stay tuned for that. In fact, if you wanted to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you see when it comes out, that's something you could do. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I know this is a very talky video, but hopefully I answered the questions that I know a lot of you have. I'm honestly super happy with how this journey of growing out my nails has gone for me, and I really hope the same will be true for all y'all, because thin nails is a struggle, and long nails is fun. And you can quote me on that. Again, wishing y'all and your loved ones well in these crazy, crazy times, and hoping that you can find some joy in doing your nails, as I have most certainly been doing over here. Thanks so much for watching.